Now, I only have some reason to believe that my skin is clearing up a little bit due to some administration of GHKCU and KPV from a new biorx.com, of course. But if you've got bad skin in the sense that you're very oily, then a few things are going to help you out with that. One, obvious, look at your diet. For me, diet is a huge impactor on my, I think the proper term is my sebum production. So that's from your sebaceous glands. That's what gives you that skin oil, which can kind of just lead to whatever dirt and inflammation and, well, just make you fucking pimply, right? So your food's going to help. And then not only just the quality of the food, but maybe try not to eat so much like total junk. Like we all know that, of course. But even if you do, on occasion, being in a calorie deficit for me also clears me up pretty well. Because if I'm physically, lacking nutrients to the point where I actually have to burn internal body fat to, actually, do all my bodily processes, that's what a calorie deficit is kind of all leading up to, then, shit. If I'm burning fats, if I'm burning lipids, would it not, this is kind of a bro sciencey way to look at it, but would that not at least mitigate my lipid production, right? Because that's your skin oils, those are lipids, that's fats, I know it's kind of weird to think about it like that, but it's got it's got calories, I don't know what kind of triglyceride or whatever, skin oil is made of, but that's an angle. And then doing your cardio should improve that situation as well. So every time I get lean, my skin gets super clear. That's one awesome, I don't know, maybe awesome. That's one angle. That's one side of dieting, which is kind of cool for me. But going forward, over my next gaining phase, I'm going to try to increase my calories super specifically, gradually. So I'm not talking like instant 500 calorie surplus. I'm talking like 100. I'm saying, so far I've been eating around like a mid 2000s-ish. So when I switch to gaining weight, I'm just going to up my calories by 100. So let's say, so it's almost July, let's say end of August, I'm averaging, and I'm going to be really particular about it, I'm averaging 2,500 calories per day of, 250 grams of protein, 50 of fats, maybe 80 of fats, something in that range, and then the rest in carbs. I'm just going to make sure I creep up by 100. So whether that comes from 10 extra grams of fats, or if that comes from 25 extra grams of carbs, those two can kind of fluctuate a little bit. Like if I have 5 extra grams of fats than I planned, I'll just have 10 short grams of carbs than I had planned to kind of balance those two out. I want to keep my protein constant though. But with a really super specifically slow, gradual increase in calories, I think I should mitigate my bulking side effects. 1, the most obvious, fat gain. 2, second most obvious for me, is just start breaking out all over the fucking place. So that's how I'm going to go about it going into this winter. But until then, we're going to stay nice and lean, and actually, I guess that's the gist of it. That's sort of the plan. But plan for this morning, bust out some chest, and then 30 minutes immediately on the cardio bike upstairs. So I ordered a replacement part, had to do another order of, or not order, but I wanted it to be done before the workout was over. So I got some bolts and washers so I could actually kind of screw it in, because I was missing a piece. Like I would have needed some kind of very specific tool to like unthread a specific little bolt that was in the thing. But just by eyeballing it, 3/8 inch bolt, about an inch and a half in length, 2 5/16 washers. Whole thing is back fucking together. Hell yeah. And I made sure to actually thread the pedal in correctly this time. So that is all freaking good for me. and then I'm going to edit this little video together. So that's the plan. How exactly my pump will go will be determined by how the warm-up feels. So what I mean by that is, you know, I'm going to sit and, you know, do my rotator cuffs, do some rows, do some crossover presses, do some forearms a little bit, a little triceps, a little biceps, a little bit of shoulders, because I just want everything in this entire upper body area to be warm. I want everything ready and kind of firing as it should, so that if I, you know, start loading up some kind of chest press or something, I'm not going to tweak my shoulder or my rotator cuff or my whatever. So, I mean, I'm going as light as just grabbing a pair of 15s and doing a couple of these sort of like rotational kind of deals right in front of the mirror. You know, maybe like 10 reps, 6 times each side. It doesn't feel like a lot, but, you know, I throw some weight around for chest. I'm not really going easy all the time over these last couple of months. I mean, really last couple of years, to be honest. But I haven't had a shoulder problem in quite a while. So, you know, there's a big ass oversized load coming towards me right now. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Maybe potentially a I don't know. It's about to go past us. Let's see what the hell this thing is. Oh, freaking. What do you think? Is it someone's private gym that they're just shipping out wholesale? Hard to say. Hard to freaking say. But no more banter, no more ramble. Let's get this lift started. All right, let's change it up. Last chest day started heavy. Let's make this one start light. So only 60 or so pounds. And I'd basically consider this like the rope extension equivalent of chest to triceps. So just a good squeezing kind of burn. Like if I do a heavy set of incline press, I can't do another rep because I just can't fucking move. But here it's more like I'm just kind of aiming for this burning sensation and like kind of fullness, if you feel me. But you know the deal. If it's burning, you're doing something right. Slightly heavier. Whew. All right, one more, a little heavier, and we'll see what happens next. Okay. Okay. All right, I lied. One more, and then we'll move on. Yeah. Okay. All right, so this isn't a move that you see all the time, but as a squeezing, burning additive to a chest day, I really like this. So grab a dumbbell of your choosing. Honestly, heft isn't really gonna help here. I'm only gonna use the 30s, but what I'm doing is I'm grabbing both of them. I'm gonna kind of like here, my arms are outside my lats. I wanna hang my arms in front of my lats, so they're just dangling down. And then I'm gonna use my chest to pull my arm across and up my body. So I'm not feeling like a ton of lower chest. I mean, I am, but what I'm really aiming for is this feeling up here, as though I'm doing a freaking, weird uppercut. And if you tuck your chin a little bit, you should be able to feel your upper chest fire, right? Same thing right here. That's that feeling I want. Like right in here, middle of my clavicles, the top corner where my chest inserts, I want to feel this burning. And then next, when we move on to a fly or something, after having done 2 or 3 of these, just pre-exhausting squeezing, I mean, this is going to get me pumped, but it's also going to get me pre-exhausted. So the next movements are going to feel sweet. All right. Okay. Okay. A little heavier for this one. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. Let's rip a press. Yes. Nah, fuck. A little heavier. Come on. There we go. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. Oh, shit. All right. A little lighter for the next one. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. One more. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see how we're looking. All right. Not the craziest lift, but that's all right. I'm going to start doing a little bit more of a good back and forth of a heavier day and then a more light squeezing day. So I'm not talking light like nothing, but, let's just call the ratio, I mean, I don't know, what do you think? Like curl in the 70s versus curl in the 30s? I can make the 30s work, but let's see how we're looking. Purely from forearms alone, I mean, let's just say the cardio has been doing its magic. But let's actually reveal. All right, we can discuss after a couple poses. The pump is fleeting already, so I don't want to squander it. Let's just zoom in a teensy little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. That ab shot was actually nuts. Let's get a little vacuum going. Oh my God. So to sit and hold a fucking vacuum post-workout gets a little tricky. It gets a teensy little bit tricky. But, all right, I can't help it. Let's just do one more couple. Okay. Let's get a post-lift discussion. Yeah, check that out. Look at that. We got automatic going. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking, and I always, I've got a few shticks, right? I've got a few things I'm always talking about. Do your cardio, actually go hard, be consistent. This shit's going to take a while. And one thing that I really hope, if I can get anything out of giving anything with all these videos, it's that doesn't become like eat your vegetables. I don't want this shit to sound like I'm just nagging or anything like that, as though it's like, yeah, I guess I probably should do it. Whatever, maybe I won't. Right? That's not how I want this to come off. Because even just sitting there now, I'm watching videos of different kind of beginner dudes, or there's all sorts of different transformation challenges all the time. And it's a lot of things are motivated by this external reward system. Every time I talk to an older dude, any gym, just like a freak, one thing that often comes up is that I think now the motivation to lift and get big and like make physical gym progress, it's not just for its own sake anymore. It's because, shit, this dude who I really like, he posts himself online, he gets a ton of attention, he's doing all this shit. Well, I want to do the same thing. And it's not as though that can't be a good motivation or like a good inspiration or anything, but I think I've had it very good on my kind of fitness journey, just across the board. I'm talking like from 160-pound Sam all the way to current 230-something pound Sam, because in the beginning, my motivation was not anything to do with like get somebody to see what I'm doing or, kind of showing up. I mean, I guess it probably was. We're always conditioned to want to show off, at least to like some degree. So I guess in my mind, maybe I just felt cool walking around big, and that was kind of the point of it. But, I mean, I was just telling a dude yesterday at the gym, like, I was already getting after it. I mean, I was repping like 5 plates in an empty gym, no videos, no nothing, no whatever, no posting. Because for me, just the motivation to be a freak, that was it. Like, that was the point, So the takeaway that I can let's just say that I can kind of get from thinking about it like that is the idea of just mitigating any turnarounds between motivation and end result, right? Because let's say someone, I think we could all agree this probably isn't a good way to live, what I'm about to describe, is let's say someone wants to always make sure that they're perceived well. They're going to dress a certain way. They're going to talk a certain way. They're going to keep themselves from saying certain things because they don't know what other people are going to think about them. And their entire being is just dedicated to this external validation of, okay, what does everybody else think of me? All right, am I doing this right? Right. So in that situation, it's the motivation to act and dress and whatever isn't because this person wants to. It's because they want to be perceived as though whatever from someone else. So it's this roundabout validation, right? Rather than, shit, that was pretty cool. Where'd that guy get that jacket from? I saw a dude, I'm glad he didn't gatekeep me. Remember when I had that little puff jacket with like the fur on the hood? I don't know. I can't wear it now. It's so hot. But I was like, man, that thing's fucking cool. So I managed to track him down at the last Fit Expo. I'm like, dude, where'd you get that? And he kind of hooked me up. But with the gym, at least, I think that the guys who really have a good time are the ones who are doing it because they want to, right? End, period. That's the end of it, right? So they want to get after it. For them, the validation of coming to the gym and going hard and sticking to their diet, or maybe they're a hardcore bodybuilder, they're doing shows. It doesn't matter if they're winning them or not. They just want to do it because it's like kind of a fun challenge for them. They're sticking to their cardio. They're seeing how just crazy they can get themselves to kind of become. And for them, just to look at themselves in the mirror and say, yeah, nice. That's fucking sweet, man. So that's what, but I guess there's no way to really explain how to do that. It's kind of just this what would you call that? Self-confidence? That's not really the right way to kind of put that. This I don't know, I guess this self-reassurance, because the things that I think are the most valuable are the ones that you do just for the sake of doing, right? When you're playing pickleball, or if you're going out and hanging out with your buddies, the fun of it, or the point of it isn't like so you can say you did it later, right? The point is actually doing it, right? There is no end result of this is a really good quote. I don't know I can't repeat it exactly, but it's like a ballroom dance. You're not dancing you're not going through the motions of this whole thing purely for the sake of finally I made it to the end of it. The doing it is the fun part. The doing it should be the part that gives you this satisfaction and enjoyment. So how I look at that for me is, I don't really think of future Sam very much. And what I mean by that is I'm not thinking, okay, I want to be 245 pounds lean. Here's a picture of 10 other bodybuilders who I want to emulate the look of. I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. Like, that's not really how I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm going to keep getting after it, and I'll just kind of fucking see what happens, So some people might not like that because there's a very, like, hardcore, like, just fucking, like, grungy kind of motivation that the gym has sometimes, and I think it's terrible. I mean, even old school, like, full-on Mr. Olympia guys will talk like this, and it does not get me motivated at all. So it might just be a me thing. But if I see a video of like a, total top kind of pro and he's talking about his training, I don't know if they really mean this or not. Maybe they just said it for the video. But it's like the guy is a freak. The guy is a total baller in terms of like his build. And he's going, he's hitting something like this. He's like fucking completely peeled like a... Yeah, fuck, man. My arms aren't where I want them. I'm going to do an hour of cardio, man. I look like shit. Ugh. I mean, that just sucks, You can be your own worst critic, right? You can have things that you want to change, and you can have things that you want to work on and adjust and improve. And some of those things only you know about. Right? Like, let's say maybe you're not the best at just completely random small talk with strangers. Maybe you get a little anxious or just whatever, like a tiny little thing that nobody else knows, but only you know, right? That's something where you can say, okay, I got to work on this, or something along those lines. But I think it is no fun whatsoever to look at any shortcomings or maybe just self-perceived shortcomings that you have and think, God, I'm such a piece of shit. Fuck. And it's just this motivation of like, oh, I hate where I am. I hate my current set of circumstances, which can be a very powerful, motivating thought, I guess. I don't really have that too much. But if that's you, well, get after it, of course. But what are you going to do when you get where you want to be? What are you going to do when you actually kind of realize all those things that you were not comfortable with yourself about or whatever, you've now changed. Like, it's the idea that you think once you hit a 315-pound bench, that suddenly the freaking pearly gates will open up for you and everything will just be completely perfect. Or if you get any particular, kind of promotion or relationship or whatever, like as though there is just one day or one moment where all of this negative thought and just like angst and everything will just pay off and suddenly you're going to be totally satisfied. Life goes on. Even this is something a lot of bodybuilders will kind of get. I see this posted a lot. It's probably different for like full-on veteran pros, but at least for more beginner guys, less than 5 shows or so, there's this sort of like gloom after a bodybuilding show where you did it. I mean, shit, I even had this a little bit, and I fucking won my first 2. Where afterward you're like, fuck, well, now what? Because you just had this entire period of however many months of your prep all boiled down to just one day, and then that day's going to pass, and you're still you got to keep moving. So it's the idea of like that Sisyphus sort of approach where there is no end. You're just constantly rolling this fucking thing uphill, and that doing it is the fun part, and that there isn't some moment that you're waiting for. Like there's only one moment, and that's right now. That's current. There is no future moment. There's no past moment. That's all over. This is it. So if this is it, I want to try to have as much fun in the current moment as possible. And for me, that means hustling with the gym, doing my cardio like I'm about to, sticking to my diet, being lean, or if I'm bulking up, throwing some weight around and putting some size on, whatever that current trajectory is, as long as I know I'm on track with it, well, then I'm golden. It doesn't matter what the hell else happens that day. If I know I'm on track for the things that I want to do, then I'm a happy camper, So if you took anything from that, it's, well, I don't know. To say don't stress isn't a good phrase, but I guess, well, I guess that's up to you. I don't know what you got out of that whole little chat, but if you got something, then, well, hell yeah. But I can get my cardio done, splice this thing together, and then I'll see you tomorrow for something. Probably back, but potentially forearms and calves. Haven't done a forearm and calf day for a while. So I guess we'll see what happens. But I'll see you then.